Good morning, everybody. It is a few minutes after 11 a.m. Central Standard Time here on Friday, the 19th of January, 2024, coming at you live from just north of Houston, Texas. My name is Christopher Inks, and I am the CEO, the head, the big honcho, I guess you could say, at Texas West Capital, where we do two things. We forecast price action, and if you've been following me for the last year and a half, you know I do it pretty damn well. And we also teach traders how to trade. And, it sounds kind of silly until you really think about it, right? Because nobody's ever gotten great in their particular endeavor has done so without coaching and mentorship and stuff like that. So we take a lot of pride in what we do here. And hopefully you guys enjoy what we're doing. Usually Fibo is with me every other Friday, but as always, that's as his time permits. He had something come up today, unfortunately, last minute. He's not able to make it, but he will be on. We've rescheduled for next week, so we should be good to go next week. So this week, since I wasn't prepared for that, we're going to take a look at some charts, guys. We're going to do some chart requests. I've got some already that you guys have sent in via social media or through Texas West Capital there. And, other than that, we'll talk about Bitcoin because, hey, we've had, over $10 billion in flows for the ETFs, for the Bitcoin ETFs. And if you know Fibo, you know he loves the Bitcoin ETFs. Not really. I'm saying that because he might be listening in, and we'll see if we can get him to say something. But seriously, though, it's huge. In terms of ETFs, the flows are huge, guys. There is a lot of outflow from GBTC as expected. But remember, we're just now, the last few days, you're just starting to get some of the buying coming in the other ones. Because, stocks, ETF, stuff like that. They have, their settlement is usually a couple of days later. It's usually T+2. Now, GBTC was T+1, which means, it's a day after it happens for the settlement. These other ones, like I said, are 2 days after, which means we didn't even start getting really seeing the first inflows into these ETFs until, probably end of the day, Tuesday or so. And so if we're looking at that, again, any inflows you're seeing that are coming today are basically from a few days back. So we got a lot going on. So the other thing to pay attention to is that we've had a lot of minor selling going on. So we've had GBTC, a lot of outflow from GBTC because their fees are a lot more, right? It's 1.5% versus these other ones, which have these wars on fees, right? 0.10, 0.25, I think, are the fees we're looking at. Now, if somebody wants to move out of GBTC, most are going to have to take some sort of tax hit for doing so at the moment. But they're going to, as you see, they're choosing to do it to get into the other ETFs. But some of that is not even coming in, guys. Some of it's outflows. Stuff's been locked up in GBTC forever and a day, right? So some people are realizing those gains, getting out for right now anyway. The important thing about, what is the effect on the ETF is it's basically been a week, guys. Stop with the doomsday stuff and whatever, and the sky's falling chicken little nonsense. It's going to take a few months at least to start seeing what kind of real effect the ETF has on spot Bitcoin, right? But you have to remember, Bitcoin price is not just a product of spot. It's spot, it's futures, it's options, it's ETFs. It's all this stuff is going to help figure out what the price of Bitcoin is. So don't come in thinking, oh, well, spot Bitcoin, Bitcoin USD on Coinbase is the de facto price that it should be. The price is this thing that comes about as a product of all this other stuff. So just some things to think about, guys, as we're doing it, because all of a sudden everybody is so bearish. All of a sudden, 20,000 incoming, 12,000, 3,000. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. I don't know how you guys deal with it, honestly. I don't know how you guys deal with it. Being new to trading, I've been doing this almost 30 years. So for me, I know what I'm looking at. I don't get overly emotional with things that are going on. I pretty much ignore the news as it is. I talk about it with you guys because, you're interested in it. But, most of the time we're able to see this in the charts already, right? So let me kind of check here real quick. Let's see here. What's going on, Brad, Troy, Data? Good to see you guys. Mr. Bennett is here as well. D-Dubs, what's up, man? Says, thanks for doing these videos. I'm curious about Mara. It's been extremely volatile. Yeah, we'll check that. I've got that one set up. Sats, what's up, man? I'm sorry. I'm really going to probably screw up your name here. I can't even do. Okay, so I'm just going to put it on here. I really don't want to do that. Vieshla, I hope I didn't screw that up too bad. Where's that bounce? We'll talk about that here in a minute. Alvin, what's going on there? Who else is here? Chill, mega chill. I like that. I like that. Diego's here as well. Am I shorting any of this? No. Why would I short it? I trade in the direction of the trend. And this is one thing. You guys may not figure it out yet, especially if you haven't had years of consistently profitable trading. But I'm going to tell you right now, one of the best things you can learn is just to trade in the direction of the trend, right? So I'm not trying to turn $100 into $1 million in a week. So I don't do a lot of degenerate nonsense that goes on social media that you guys think you have to do, right? So one of the big things that happens with traders when they first come in, and you can choose to listen to this or not, but I would suggest that, man, oh man, if you're not consistently profitable, you really listen to this, okay? So a lot of times when people come in, retail traders come in, they're usually with a small amount of money, right? And their first thought is, how can I turn this $100 or $1,000 or even $10,000? Believe it or not, $10,000 is still a very small amount of money in the markets, okay? And their idea is, well, how can I turn that into like $100,000, $1 million, like tonight, basically overnight, right? In a week, in a couple of weeks, in a month, whatever. Really ridiculous timing for it, okay? Because that doesn't happen. You go, oh, but so-and-so showed online. Well, maybe they got lucky, but that's not trading. Trading isn't about, getting lucky, one win out of, 100 losses. You're not going to be trading that way. You're just gambling. A lot of guys don't understand this. When you're sitting here and you're like, oh, what's the newest flavor on the street this minute? What's this really small micro cap that you can only be found on this obscure exchange, and I'm gonna ape in with whatever I have into that and hope it goes up, 10 billion times. I mean, that's not trading, guys. I'm sorry to put that to you, but that's not trading. That's just gambling. And the reason why I bring that up is because if you're gambling in the market, you're going to lose. When it comes to gambling, the house always wins. All right. And in the markets, the market is the house, right? You are going to lose. You may get lucky here and there along the way, but overall, you are going to lose. It's really important, guys. Okay. So I hope you're listening. So yeah, for me, I just trade in the direction of trade. Now, if I'm, it's what I generally do right now. If I have time to day trade, sure, I'll short something if that particular time frame I'm on is coming down, right? I'm not going to short it if that time frame is still up, right? But generally speaking, for me, I'm looking at the daily, a little bit of beyond that, because I don't have to try and make $1 million in 2 days from $100. I don't have to. So there's no reason for me to do that. And there's no reason for me in general to trade against the trend. Does that make sense? All right. Hopefully it makes sense. Let me see here. What else we got here? Let me see here. Gaurang Patel. Okay, good to see you, man. Hopefully I didn't butcher your name too bad there. Wants to look at Hut. Let me see if I can get that here in a minute. Gold Doctor, what's up, man? Matt's Trades is here. Revy. Glad to see level-headed people. It's all about, guys. I'm going to tell you right now, you can't do this degenerate thinking that everybody seems to be so proud of in social media and expect to be in the market for 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 40 years, whatever it is. You can't. I'm telling you right now, you're not going to do it. I've never seen anybody do that. And I've talked to tens of thousands of traders over the last almost 30 years, 28 years. Okay? Nobody has gotten successful, been able to stay in for, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years without proper risk management. That's what it's all about. Nobody's coming in and been, gambling and been able to stick around. Because you always lose it. You always lose it, every single person. All right. So if you're here, I take it seriously. If you're here, I try to set you straight as far as what it means to really trade versus what it means to do social media nonsense and get liquidated constantly and lose all your money constantly, okay? Because trading has provided a hell of a life for me, and it can provide a hell of a life for you too. And you don't have to have any special kind of education. You don't have to be super smart. You don't have to have Cat Williams 160 plus IQ at age 8. You know, he's been a member of Mensa since like 10 years old. Y'all know who Cat Williams is, right? One of my favorite comedians. But anyway, I guess that tells you a lot about me, right? But it doesn't take anything like that. I know people, I've got friends who barely graduated from high school who are doing what you wish you were doing in the markets. They're not exceptionally brilliant people. They just were able to be humble enough to learn, to listen, to be focused, to be disciplined, to repeat the correct actions that they have to do over and over again in order to get where they want to go. So don't come in thinking that you have to be anything special to do it. You just have, well, I mean, I guess it is kind of special to actually listen and do the things you have to do, because most of us are just very, we're very emotional. We're very prideful. You know, you can't tell me something. I know what I'm doing. Why? Because you can enter the market, right? We hear it all the time when it comes to sex and religion and politics. No different in trading. But if you do, if you're willing to listen, if you're willing to find the right information, and then to do the things you have to do in the, you know, in the order you have to do them, and to be focused and disciplined and consistent, you can get where you want to go. All right, guys? Let me see here. Jack, what's up? I see you there. Could I do Sol and Ethereum? Yeah, let me check those out here. Soren, what's up, man? Alvin says, don't buy a falling knife, otherwise you keep getting cut. Yeah, exactly. There are times when you can notice that, you know, once you get used to doing this, where price is much more likely to have bottomed out and head up. But, you know, guys, a lot of you want to do, let me tell you this. If you are not consistently profitable on a larger time frame, stop trying to day trade. Day trading pulls out a lot of emotions in you. You can see it all over social media right now with the pullback, right? With Bitcoin. Everybody losing the damn mind. It's crazy, right? Don't want to do that. So, you know, and again, you're going to sit there and argue with me. You go, oh, but I need to make my money. Yeah, I need to turn my $100 into $1 million next week. Unfortunately, if that is basically your mindset, you're going to lose your money. I'm telling you right now. And this is where I usually get the feedback of, or the, you know, the response of, oh, you just don't know what you're talking about. You can't do it. Yeah, guys, listen. I've been where you are, and I found that it doesn't work. I've talked to tens of thousands of traders over the last 28 years. It hasn't worked for anybody. You have to, because your emotions, right? Trading is simple. It's not easy. We'll look at the charts in just a minute here, guys. But trading is simple. It's not easy. It's simple because it's really just going from areas of supply and demand, right? Between those areas. That's really all trading is. But it's not easy because you have to fight yourself. You have to fight your own emotions. And the newer you are to trading, the longer you have not yet been consistently profitable, the more difficult dealing with those emotions is. And you know what makes dealing with those emotions more difficult? Quick movement, small movement, localized. So if you're coming into that smaller time frame, if you are brand new and you're thinking you're going to make yourself wealthy trading a 15-minute chart, and you haven't mastered getting through your emotions and dealing with all yet, I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to lose all your dang money. This is the hard truth that people aren't going to tell you because they want you to buy their stuff. I'd love for you to join us. I think it'd be great. But I'm going to tell you the honest truth right here. And if that hurts your feelings, there's not a whole lot I can do about that. But I would much rather you hear the truth from somebody who's been doing this for as long as I have than to fall for the nonsense on it for somebody that's been trading crypto for a year, trying to sell you whatever they're trying to sell you and feeding into what you think you want or what you think you need, which is really the stuff that's going to hurt you. Okay? All right, guys. What's going on, Frank? Robbie? S2F? Brian? What's going on? Nikki as well? Good to see you guys. All right. So that's my bit of, you know, reality check there for you guys, okay? I'm telling you, it's what you got to watch. Now, let's go and jump into Bitcoin here first, and then we'll start looking at the chart request, okay? Yeah, so basically what we're looking at here, we've got this swing low over here on this Bitstamp chart. This is just Bitstamp. Bitcoin USD chart at 40,181. And then we have over here at 40,258. Now, with the proximity of this swing low to this swing low, I think we'll probably get a breakdown. The fact we're through the pivot, I think we'll probably get a breakdown. And that's going to give us this this count right here, right? My count really hasn't changed any. Basically, this gets us a 1, 2, a 3, and we're working on a 4 here. So the 38.2 retracement, our normal initial fourth wave target, is right there around the daily S1 pivot, right around 38.5. That's also right around the EQ of this large ascending channel, which we've been watching since the beginning, right? So in the grand scheme of things, this is nothing, right? People are like, oh my God, it's dropped $9,000. Oh my God, it was $49,000. So what? It's not a big deal. It's a pullback, especially in terms of Bitcoin, right? So what am I looking for? I'm looking for, if we break down below this swing low over here, this low is from like December 11th, okay? We're breaking down below that. I think we come down here around the 38,500. If we continue through that, secondary target is usually a 50%, which is down here around 35,700 or so, okay? Now, what you can notice is right here in this area, this is a low volume node. This is why we caught support here and here, and why we're so far catching support right here. It's a low volume node. Price doesn't just thrust right through the low volume nodes. Usually that'll come up as, if it's above it as resistance or below it as support. And usually it has to hit it a few times. But once it goes through it, it usually pops through it pretty quickly. Because the market has just said, listen, we're not interested in this price level. So we're not willing to give you what you're looking for. If you're selling, we're not really willing to buy in that area. Which means if you're selling significantly enough, more than what the market's willing to buy in that area, price is going to continue chasing down until it finds price acceptance, right? Where is price acceptance? Right in this area, this higher volume node area, right? That's where the market has shown you at that price level. They're willing to engage. They're willing to get in there and trade money for asset or asset for money. Okay? So right now, that's what we're looking at. Now, if it does not break down through there, the idea is, so what I'm looking at right here is that this is potentially right now an ending diagonal. This is the idea right now, okay? It's ABC is 1, 2, ABC is 3, 4, ABC is 5. And then you got the sharp drop off, right? Usually when you have a diagonal, you'll have a sharp rejection. Okay? So that's what we're looking at right there. Now, because it's ABCs, let me kind of get in here a little bit and show you what I'm thinking here. Basically, something like this. Okay. Just so you can get an idea of why I'm looking at the count the way I am, okay? So the idea is we had a flat correction here, gave us 4, and then this is a leading or ending diagonal. Now, like I said, if we break down below this wave 4 here, it's an ending diagonal, ABC, right? If it does not break down and instead we rally back up above this swing high right here at about 43,566 on this chart, if we can break out above that, that's going to indicate this very well may have been just a leading diagonal, and this is a very deep wave 2. So it would be 1, 2 of this wave 5 of 3. And so we'll move up there, okay? So right now it just depends. Do we break out above this 43,566 on this chart here, this swing high, or do we break down below this swing low here at 40,181? Again, if we do break down, initial target should be this daily S1 pivot area right around 38,400 or 500. And then we're going to be looking again for that same breakout through this 43,566 to signal that we're heading up. So if we get down here to this area and then we reverse back up and break out above 43,566, that gives us a wave 5 of 3 target at 57,300. That's just based off the height here of wave 4, okay? If we continue on down to this 50% level at 35,700, around that area, this target will move up a bit more. If, however, again, if this is the bottom here and it hasn't broken down below that swing low and we head back up through that, then again, we're looking at that as 1 and 2 of 5 here, of 5-3. So it hasn't finished yet. And that would give us a target up here. That would give us a wave 5 of 3 target up here at 59,621. That would be this 5 of 3 up there. Okay? That's where we're looking at, guys. That's it. That's you know, as simple as we can make it, right? Notice structure is not broken here. The swing low is still intact right here. Again, I am cautious because we are so close to that. I'm thinking we'll probably break through, but we haven't broken through yet. And trading is all about confirmations. It's not about front running nonsense, because front running is what gets you caught. It's what gets you to lose money. All right. So we're looking for confirmations. So yeah, I am not interested. You know, again, I'm playing this larger daily time frame here. I'm not interested in shorting this down. I'm interested in adding potentially here or here, right? That's where I'm interested in. Can we go down? Sure, we can go down here, and maybe we'll have to change the count a little bit here. But do we have to go down here like everybody's telling you? No, right? Because ever since we got up here, everybody's like, oh, we have to go to 30,000 or 20,000 or whatever, a bunch of nonsense. We don't have to do, guys, you understand, we don't have to do anything other than what the price is going to do. If you're getting to a point and you don't have confirmation on movement, on reversal, and you're like, oh, we have to do something, understand that's an emotional position that you're taking. That is not objective. And what that means is most of the time, you're going to end up losing money. Maybe you get it right this time, maybe. But I'm going to tell you right now, you can't trade like that. You can't trade based on, oh, I got lucky this time, and I'm going to keep trading on luck, because you're going to lose money, a lot of money. Okay? Anything that you do in life that you want to be successful at has steps. It has a formula. It has a series of things you need to repeat, consistently. Anything that you want to do in life, and trading is not excluded from that. Okay? So that's all. That's what I'm looking for here. I think we'll break down toward this level at least. But if we don't, if we come on break out above, level right there, I'm going to look for it up there around 59,621. What gets interesting at that point is that the pullback, if we were to do that instead, brings us right back into all this sideways that we've had here for about just over a month and a half, which is what you would expect. That's the 38.2 right there. Worst case scenario, 50% dips just below it into the low volume node, and we had the discussion already about low volume nodes. So you expect to get in there. None of that would get you back down in this area. Okay? Now, the other thing I want to say real quick here is we've had a ton of GBTC outflows, right? Some of that has gone into the new ETF. Some of that's just been cashed out. But on top of that, we've had a lot of minor selling apparently as well. And the fact that we've been doing that for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, for almost 10 days here, and we haven't broken down yet, is telling. I posted something about that on Twitter there. And basically my thought is, listen, if all you're concentrating on is the outflows and the pullback we've had, but you're not paying attention to the fact that in spite of all that GBTC outflows, in spite of all the additional minor selling, and it's like 700 Bitcoin are created a day on average, and it's like thousands or over 10,000 Bitcoins are being sold or are being sold a day, right? So you've got all that coming in there, and price is not really moving that much in the grand scheme of things, right? Which means there is a lot of buying going on, and that's important. That's more important than the selling itself. Everybody's concentrating on the selling. Nobody is really talking about, listen, we're getting all this selling, but we have yet to break down. Again, we could happen, but how many people are going to be freaked out if we get nothing more than basically a wick down here or a candle down and then a candle right back up into the range the next day? How many people are going to be freaking out there waiting for this thing still to come way down here? as it turns around and heads up, right? Very much possible. And the fact that we've got so much buying going on right now, and GBTC only has so much Bitcoin that they can sell, right? As long as that buying continues to hold up there, watch what happens when GBTC starts really slowing that outflows. When those outflows happen, really slow down. Because who's it going to be left to sell? The miners have been selling like a mofo into everything. They going to have something to sell? Not really. Who's going to be able to sell into it at that point? Does that make some sense? So again, guys, my goal here is to get you thinking about things more than what the sound bites are that come out quickly on social media, because those sound bites most of the time are very limited in respect to what they consider. And if that's all you're going off of, you're going to find yourself more times than not on the wrong end of a trade, if that's what you're going by. Does that make sense? Nothing I said here, now, because I know people will misquote me here, right? Nothing I've said here says that price can't break down. And as a matter of fact, I'm kind of really expecting it to get down there. But I'm not sitting here going to short. Why would I short it? It doesn't make any sense. I'm looking at the daily. I'm interested in the daily. I'm looking for the blow off top. I'm looking to add in the direction of the trend. My trend is up. Since I told y'all the bottom looked like it was down there back here in November, those of you that were following back then, over here, right? Since we were talking about the lows being in down here, my goal is to add on the pullbacks along the way, not to sell anything going there. That doesn't make any sense. My plan, my trading plan for this bull cycle is to add up, not to sell along the way. That's my goal. That's what I'm working at. You have to have a trading plan, guys. Okay? And with this trend and what it is, if you're going to short, that's fine, as long as it's a short-term short. Don't be shorting at 49,000 thinking you're going to get to 20,000. There's a lot of stuff you have to get through along the way to do that. And one of the biggest mistakes people make are these people who've been saying, we got to go down to 12,000 every time we do a little bit of a pullback. Right? They've been wrong consistently. And if you listen to them, you probably got hurt quite a bit. Trade in the direction of the trend. Make sure you understand what your trading plan is. Okay? Let me see here. Revy says this correction does nothing more than expose fake bulls. Let me see here. What's up, Ryan? You got some fills at 40,333, you said? You did short at 48.3, but fully out? Okay. Matt, what's up, man? Glad to see I'm feeling better. I appreciate that. I'm not perfect yet. I'm not feeling great yet, but I'm definitely feeling better. Beans, you can always ask a question, man. Two girls, what's up? Says stock request, but I don't see it. I don't see anything there. I just see 3 asterisks there. Brandon says we have tested that base before every bull market so far. No guarantees in trading, though. Got to be ready for anything. Yeah, exactly. Now, here's the thing. If you guys have been following me since, since we came down into this low and everything, you'll remember that I had a chart, and it's in my Twitter feed. You guys can look back there and see it, but it was this chart basically. And on the reset on an issue I had with TradingView, it erased everything, but we were looking at the clouds here, and we had these green boxes. And we had like the whatever this is. What is this? The 20. Oh, I don't remember. We had like the 20 and something else, I think. But I had these lists here. I said that the steps that usually happen for as you exit a bear market. Talking about crossing above, pulling back and retesting. The EMA here and every before the halving, every time we were targeting the top of the red Ichimoku cloud. We hit it here. We hit a little bit above here. We hit it here. Well, the cloud was over here though, because it was a shorter time, right? It's all on the weekly here. And here we are again. And you can see that this cloud up here is right around 49,100. Basically where we hit into. So, I mean, everything else aside, just looking at the previous bull runs and what's always happened, we've hit that general area that we usually hit before the pullback. And if you guys remember, that was, yet again, one of the other reasons why I was talking about when we were way down at 15, 16, how we'd probably run up to around 50,000 before having, right? You guys remember that from about a year ago, right? And it was just this. There was a few other charts I did. Again, guys, if you follow me on X, Twitter, whatever, you can search for these charts in there. Probably around Q1 of last year of 2023, where they were. But I posted charts over the next few quarters, showing different ways of looking at it and why we were looking to get where we get. So I mean, we hit where we were looking to get. Now we just got to see, is that it, or are we going to get further, right? Big picture, guys, big picture. If I'm just trading pivots and we get rejected here, generally speaking, I would expect this 34,700, 35,000 area to hold as support. This is the weekly pivot. If you're coming in sideways between the pivot and the R1, you guys, if you've been following me, watching these streams for years now, you'll know, right? We've talked about this so many times. You get this kind of movement in here, coming up toward the R1, you get rejected. You usually look for a bounce at the reversal at the pivot area. It doesn't have to be exactly big. It could be a little bit above it. And then a breakout higher. And when you do that, you're going to get at least the R3. So that's about 81,000. Usually you're going to get it running through the R5. 117,000 plus. Okay. So this is just something, if you've ever traded pivots, most people don't seem to understand that this happens. I've never seen anybody ever talk about it before. That's usually what you'll get. I am not even worried in the least bit about this pullback. It's just a pullback. Because my plan is that larger time frame. My plan is this bull market. My plan since that November low has been this bull market. Actually, since June of 2022, where accumulation started over here before we had the terminal shakeout. Right? My plan has been to accumulate along the way. Buy on the big pullbacks. Don't worry about all the intraday nonsense or a couple of days of whatever. In the grand scheme of things, we're looking for higher highs and higher lows, and that's what we're getting. Does that make sense, guys? Do I think the volume of ordinals has a price impact on Bitcoin? You mean on the price of Bitcoin rising or whatever? Nah. Why? I don't think so. Not really. I mean, I think if it was any, it'd be very minimal, because in the grand scheme of things, it's a very limited part of Bitcoin, right? I don't think so. Nothing to actually get in there and and write home, write to home about, right? Does that make sense? Yeah. Ryan, you like my beard? I appreciate that, man. Working on that mustache too. Get out there. So yeah, man. So this is kind of what we're looking at here, guys. Big picture is, again, trading in the direction of the bull trend. I think if you're doing anything else, I think you're probably going to end up losing a lot of money along the way, especially if you're not already profitable, right? Consistently profitable as it is. Now, we are getting a good rally off here. The first thing we have to do is overcome this daily pivot. And the more volume you can see, the bigger candle spread you can see. If you do that, the more likely that this bottom is in here. How bad do you think that would kill social media? Everybody on social media has been talking about how it has to go to 20,000 or 12,000 still and everything now. If it didn't even break down structurally, if it gave a slightly higher low and then rallied back out. Be crazy, right? It's looking good so far. First step, break out above this daily pivot, just right above it here, right around 41,570 or so on this chart, on this Bitstamp Bitcoin USD chart. Second step, breakout above this 43,566. And if we get that, I think the odds are we kind of head up further, because, again, I say ABC, but it may be just WXY, but it's 3 waves down, right? So if you break out above that second wave, it's corrective, which means ultimately you should be headed higher, okay? All right, let's start looking through some of these charts, guys. I've got some here that I requested. I pulled on here. Here's Mara. Mara, I've got this as a 1-2, 1-2 here on this bit larger wave 3. So we got a pullback right around 50%. we're hitting right here. You got this gap right there, low volume node just below us. You've got this demand sitting right here in these candles. We're just beyond the 50%. It's a 3-wave decline. So I'm looking for a reversal somewhere around here to rally us back up. The confirmation, this is the 3-day chart, by the way, here, guys. The confirmation is the breakout above this swing higher, because this would give us an A, a B, and a C, or W, X, Y, whatever it is. It's this right here at $29.18. So if, let's say this is the low here and that does it, and we can break out above that point there, that gives us basically a $50 target for wave 5 of 3 there. Okay? And again, this is 1, 2, 3. So then that would get us a 4 kind of pulling back. Either, whatever this is, 2464 or 1975. 2464 kind of gets us into this sideways, so that's where I would think it would be just a 38.2 pullback, because you had a deeper pullback beyond 50% here. So likely just be like a 38.2 there, and then you rally up higher, and potentially looking up here for this wave 3 up here at around 145. So that's tomorrow. Okay. Riot. Same idea, well, except this one's a 1-2 here. But again, A, B, C on this pull. It's a deep pullback. It is deep. So as long as we stay above $9.33 here, we can get this rally up off here, then breaking out above $17.02 should give us a wave 3 target up here of 38.50. Okay. If we break down, oh, I said no, not that right there. I'm sorry. We got to stay above wave 2 here at $8.61. As long as we're above that, and then we break out above wave B here, we should be heading up around $38 for wave 3, and that's wave 3 of 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it's just, again, it would just be another pullback then for the wave circle 4 into the larger wave 3, which would then just be another pullback into the larger wave 4 into the wave 5. Does that make sense, guys? All right. Andrew, I see you talking about PayPal there. If you guys are following me on Twitter, you'll know that right around this bottom right here, I was talking about it looked like it was probably bottomed out right there around $50. And so far, it's rallied up. Oh, today, we're up about 30%. So since end of October there, basically. So hopefully you guys were paying attention and you believed in what I said there, and you jumped on it somewhere along the way anyway. But PayPal continues to look good with the rally there. There's a larger wedge on it. I don't have that on here. Didn't need it on here. But yeah, it looks great. I mean, look at these last 3 days, these rally here. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, gapping up. Looks great. Do have that low volume node up there around $70. So be careful of that. We're pushing up through this local low volume node right here. We're running into it right now around $65 and some change. Dollar General continues to look good overall. I was on Scott Melker's show, and I talked about the bottom. It was the day before. This one right here, Wednesday, October 11th. If you don't believe me, check out youtube.com/Scott Melker. Look for that video on that day, and you will see it in there. But we are up now. So far, we've been up almost 41% since I said that looked like it was probably around the bottom right there. I drew a little range. The next day, we had a dip below the range and popped on up. So again, another really good one there. Let me see here. Somebody asked for Rune. Rune, I think we've got a flat correction. Wave 4 of 5 here. So ABC up, and then we get 5 down. We've just about hit the 38.2 retracement level. So we can look for that, or even further down the 50% level at 31.62. And then looking for minimum expected wave 5 of 5 target up here at around $10, $10.10, right around there. This may actually be overextending a bit more, so we may have one more push after that. But right now, at least, we'll be looking right there around $10 on Rune. Somebody's asking about DOT. DOT, I've got this as a large 1, 2, so a large wave 3 in progress here. Wave parentheses 3. Locally, kind of an iffiness on the count here. But I think we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 here. And it may be a triangle plane. Maybe A, B, C, D, E, and then breakout. As long as this wave 4 holds as the low here, as long as the swing low holds as support, wave 5 of 3 has a target based on the height of wave 4 here of $12.18. So again, looking at this, because if I look at this, it looks like ABC up, here's ABC down. So again, would be A, be B, C, we get D, and then E. So, but this, if we break down below this swing low here at $6.50, that'll invalidate the idea that wave 4 is complete here, or there's a triangle going on. I would look down here around $5.85 for reversal, and it may actually be a 1 and a 2 on that. Let me see what that would be on a pullback. Yeah, see, that gives you a 50% pullback. Right now, we've kind of hit that 38.2 here. But yeah, if we're getting down there, my thought is instead of 3, 4, this would actually be a 1 and a 2. And it could pull down a little bit further into these swing lows here. But initial target would be that $5.85 area to get that there. Does that make sense, guys? Matt's Trades, what's up? He said, can confirm, took the DG trade the day you mentioned it, have been scaling in since. Man, I love it. Good job, man. Now, that doesn't mean blindly follow me, guys. I'm not perfect, right? I'm going to get things wrong every once in a while. But if you've been following me for the last year and a half, you know I'm pretty damn good, right? I've had so many stocks and cryptos. We've basically nailed the bottoms on. Sol, Link. I mean, like at those lows, right? And I do this all publicly. Well, for most of them. We've done some in Texas West Capital, like Square. We got a low in on that. And other ones. Carvana was the only one that went quite a bit more than I thought it was going to. I was looking at it getting there below $7 or $8. It got down to around $3, but then it rallied up to $50. It was crazy. But yeah. So, again, don't just blindly ape in, but, take a look at it and go, does that make sense? Does it, make sure you're looking at what your goals are and things that you know about trading and see if it makes sense to you. Now, because at the end of the day, guys, I'm telling you what I think, but I'm not responsible for your trades. If you win, you're responsible for those. If you lose, you're responsible for them because you're the one trading, right? You're the one making decisions to get in or out. I'm just giving you my thoughts based on what it is and, and what's happening, what's going on there. We talked about Save the other day on Scott's show, Wednesday. And I told you guys it looked like we had the bottom in there. I said weekly, monthly, bullish divergences, daily, all those things going on. And that thing's rallied well off Wednesday's low. So yeah, good stuff going on there. Let me see here. Mara, somebody's asking about Mara, right? Let me get some of this stuff out of the way here. Again, Mara, I'm thinking, okay, so larger wave 3 and 4 here, okay? Potentially. This could be a 1-2 rather than 3-4, but I'm going with the 3-4 right now. And then we got a 1-2, and then we got 1-2, 1-2 here. So if this is wave 4, we've pulled back just around 50%. We're hitting this gap area here, this low volume node on the weekly there. So let's kind of zoom in a bit more here. Here's the 3-day. Here's the daily. We've almost reset down and oversold. We're coming up on that pivot at around the 61.8. This is only 3 waves, guys. So this looks corrective. So if we fall through this orange range here, we'll look to fill in this gap right here around the S1 pivot at $13.40. And then minimally, if we get down to that S1, we'd be looking for a target of $53. From where we're at right here, right now, we're looking around $50. But again, because, it's A, B, C down, you have to jump above wave B here, which is 29.18, to confirm that this is an ABC. Anytime before that, it could pull back. So, this is kind of where you decide, okay, well, what am I going to do as a trader? You can zoom into a smaller time frame and look for 5 waves up and 3 back and look for it to start rallying in 5 more waves and get in there. That's one way of doing it. But you're still, before you jump in, because we're looking at this larger count, until we actually get above this swing high right here, you're still taking a lot more risk getting in prior to that. Okay? So you just gotta understand, it doesn't mean you can't do it, but you have to be honest with yourself. You have to be realistic about, man, am I, how much risk am I really taking on in this trade? Because a lot of times we lie to ourselves about it, guys. We lie to ourselves about how much risk we're really taking on. And then what happens? Then we start moving. And then when the risk hits us is when price starts coming back against us and gets near our stop loss. And then it becomes real. And then we start moving our stop loss because we don't want to see that loss. And what happens? Price keeps coming with it. And it either liquidates you or finally pops through faster than you can move your stop loss. And you end up losing a lot more, right? Does that make sense? Mark, what's up? Deadly123, good to see you guys. Let's continue going through these I already had, and then we'll see what we got with you guys' questions here. Coin. I think I talked about this on Scott's show on Wednesday. Looking at a 38.2 or 50% pullback. We've come on down. So again, still 3 waves. Looking for 50% right here around 114.5. This is a 3-day. Let's jump into the daily. We've almost reset down and oversold on RSI. Stoke RSI has bottomed out. Small overlapping candles, volume dropping off. That's indicative of a pullback. 4 hour, we're already resold right around the S1 pivot. So we may not make it any further. This may be it at the hourly S1 pivot, guys. This may be it. So you can look for, an impulsive breakout above the hourly pivot, which gets you a earlier entry than waiting for the wave B up there. But basically on this count, with this being a 3 and a 4, you'd want to get above wave B to add confirmation, add confidence to your count there. Now, what are you guys noticing with Mara and Riot and Coin and all that? They're just about where we're looking for them to get for their reversals, right? Which means if they're reversing there, how do you in your head say Bitcoin has to go down to 30,000 if they reverse there? Because they're not going to reverse there and head back up while Bitcoin dumps 20% from where it's at, right? Yes, they're different products, but they're all directly involved with Bitcoin, right? Which means if Bitcoin's going down, they're going to have that negativity really pulling on their prices hard. It's not all that makes up the price of their shares, but it is a significant portion of it. So again, if we've got a wave 4 here in progress, right? Or having completed recently, right? And those are looking for wave 4 completions. I mean, it all kind of aligns, right? Does that make sense? All right. Apple was another request. This has been fun to trade. We had a nice buy on that breakout right there. Rallying back up. We pulled back. I think this is a flat here. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then maybe A, B, or a 1, 2 here heading back up. Based on this 1, 2 here, this gives us a 3. Minimum expected at around $230. So that's what we want to look for. We want to break out above wave B up here at $199.62 to kind of add confidence to this. But overall, looks really good for that there right now still. We got this nice gap up here on Thursday. And we got continuation following through this gap here. We should continue following up. By the way, price rarely stops in the middle of a gap. As a matter of fact, I can't even remember the last time that I saw one stop in there. So usually, if you're just a quick bit of trading here, if you've seen price entering a gap and closing in a gap, usually it's going to come up to fill in that gap, finish filling in that gap. So here locally, I mean, if you're getting an impulsive breakout above the daily pivot here, that's a sooner notification than breaking out above wave B, that likely the bottom's in here and you're headed up. So Apple looking good. Nikki, glad to have you here and following along. Again, my goal, I'd love for y'all to join us, members.texaswestcapital.com. But even if you're just here, I take it seriously, and everybody else out gives you a bunch of nonsense. All right. And a lot of the people that you guys think are great traders out there have been trading like a year, 2 years maybe, and they've only traded in crypto. I've been doing this 28 years, just about anything you can trade, futures and options and stocks and Forex and crypto since January of 2017, right? So when I talk about something, this is a culmination of almost 3 decades of my paying the price along the way, losing money along the way to learn these things. And so, you're not ever really going to listen to a lot of what I say. I know that. I realize that. I was there. But if I can do anything to help you minimize your losses as much as possible, that's what I'm going to try and do. If you're here, I take it seriously that you're here. You'll never get me to hype something up. You'll never get me to blow smoke up your rear end. I'm going to tell you most likely the things that you don't want to hear. Because I remember when I came in and I was first learning to trade, or first thought I was going to learn to trade, and the things that I thought, which were completely wrong, they were the things that lost me money. And how over the last, almost 30 years of doing this, learning the correct things. But again, I can say them all day here, guys. Most people are not going to listen to most of what I say. You've got to make, a lot of times you just have to make your own mistakes a few times before you go, God dang it, I should have listened. I was there. I remember. But I'm going to keep saying it, though. I'm going to keep saying it. So you'll hear me repeat a lot of the very important things every time you guys see me talk somewhere, whether it's on my stream, somebody else's stream, on social media, because it's those things that I'm repeating constantly are the things that will have the biggest impact on how successful you can be, or even whether or not you'll be successful in your trading. Okay. Mark, have a great day, bud. We'll see you at LMT there in a bit. Let me see here. I know somebody's looking for sand. I'm not overly happy with the count here, but it looks like we've potentially got a 1-2 here and then a 1-2. We've got a 70.5 pullback. That's the institutional pullback level. Maybe like an ABC and then ABC, so like a WXY maybe. We're looking for a breakout. We want the swing low to hold this support here on the daily S1 pivot, and want impulsive breakout above the daily pivot. If we can get that says we're probably done with wave 2 here. And wave 3, minimum expected target up there of $1.0293. This is a 3-day chart, by the way. Make sure that target's correct up there. Nope. Sorry. Target is actually Let me make sure it's on log. Okay. 1.1817. If we can get that move, that'll give us that wave 3. And then we'll get the wave 5 potentially up there at around 1.4957, which would then just give us that larger degree wave 3, something like this. If we break down below the S1 pivot there, though, I think my best guess, this would be a 1-2. This would be a 3-4 in this area, and this would be a 5. And so then we'd be looking, if we get this breakdown, we'd be looking for wave 1 to actually complete up here. Wave 2 in progress, we would have hit the 50%. 61.8 would be the next target at 0.3888. 70.5 would probably be the more likely target at 0.3595. But that would then just say, okay, well, this is actually wave 1 up here. Then wave 2 down here. And then you'd have, your targets rallying back up there. So we just want to see what goes on in this range here. Do we break out or do we break down? Kind of like what we're looking with on Bitcoin, right? Which we had there. Man, that's a good rally so far. What does that 4-hour look like? Ooh, they have 4-hour candle. Looks good so far. We'll see what happens. Can we get a breakout here? If we can, then we want the breakout up here. If we can, then we should be good to go, I think. And that'll just freak people out because you came so close to hitting that swing low and didn't. Didn't break down. Just came down in 3 waves. Went up there, right? Let me see here. Got to kind of catch up with you guys here. Let's see here. MicroStrategy. It's another one I looked at on Wednesday with Scott. By the way, guys, if you don't follow me on Wednesdays, I'm on Scott Melker's show on Wednesdays, Wolf of Wall Street's there. Usually around 8:30 or so. We share charts on that. We talk about charts on that. Let me see. Do I have a different MicroStrategy chart? Let me see here. Thought I had a better chart here. But we have a series of targets here. As you can see, we kind of hit that last target there. Rallied up. Because we're looking at this as a leading diagonal here. And as a matter of fact, if you've been following me here on these streams, you'll remember that we talked about it way back down here at the beginning of October. So if you had bought around that area when we were coming up off this, or even this one right here, October 13th, when we talked about a higher low coming off that, price has rallied now. Well, ended up rallying 134%, 133% off that. So that was pretty good. Let's see. So if this is a leading diagonal like this, we're probably going to come down here around $310 or so. That's the wave 4 extreme, low volume node, whatnot. So we'll get a bounce up and then, a little bit further down probably. Let me see here. Could it be anything else though? Maybe, let me see here. Now the 3-day, it looks like A, B, we're working on C maybe. One, two, three, four, five. Maybe A, B, we can get a C up here and then come back down lower. I want to see how this kind of goes on here. I'm not sold on the leading diagonal just yet. It is possible we could do like a 1-2 here. And then we got to think about this. If we did that as a 1-2 right there, so it gives us the 1618 up here, right about where we're at. And we're trying to find support right around the weekly pivot. I'd want to see if we get support here and rally up. We're getting caught in this demand block right here. Can we rally? If we can, I think it's possible this becomes a 1-2, and this might be a 3 and a 4 here. Almost 38.2 pullback, and we get a 5 rallying up here. Probably up here toward $1,000, $1,050 on the next move up. Yeah. I want to see what happens right here around the weekly pivot. Can we hold this kind of area here and rally up? If we can, I'd have to come back in here and look at it, but this might be a 1, 2, 3, 4 here. Or even some sort of 1, 2, 1, 2. But the 1618, I think, be a 1, 2, 3 kind of thing going on. This could be like like an ABC is 1, 2, ABC is 3, 4, and get that ABC 5 up. So we could still have it a little bit further on that there. We'll have to check with it. Ooh, give me a minute. DAQO. Yeah, no, you can't post links in the chat. It won't allow it. That's why I was saying the asterisks. DAQO. Let me see here. It's in crypto. Get out of there. All right. So my first thought is when I see this here on the weekly, my first thought is probably going to drop down to the S1. That's just my initial thought because you're moving in sideways between the pivot and the S1. See, we're getting this kind of move down here. So yeah, we've got this low volume node around $16. We got one here just around where we're at. One there. Soon as monthly a little bit more. Let's see what we got as far as these measurements go here real quick on this larger time frame. That monthly RSI is almost reset down and oversold. So I'm thinking so if I look at this real quick here, it looks like we've got 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it looks like we have this kind of going on here. As a sort of leading diagonal. And then let me see, where's that swing high here? 1430, 1450. Okay, yeah. I don't know. I was kind of looking at this as I'm gonna zoom in a bit more on that. All right. So my thing that I'm thinking is this area should hold as support. And again, that gives you S1 there. We are currently dropping down into this demand structure right here on the monthly. You can see we're hitting that EQ right there. Yeah, I think we may get a bounce here, and I think it's going to follow on through down here to the S1 pivot. Seems like that's what it wants to do there. This looks like that wouldn't give us that pullback though. It's 50. All right. Okay, maybe this. Maybe you're running flat here. %50 will get us around 943 or so. So maybe we can get a wick on into this, but I think this kind of this overlapping right here. We get that resistance right there, support. I think this area is hold. So I think what we may end up having here is A, B, C down here. So for me, I would be looking minimally around, overall, if I'm looking to get this big move here, I'm looking for it to come on down here around this $13.50 area at least, maybe 9.5. And I would be looking for a reversal around there to take us up. Yeah. I think we got 1, 2, I think we got 3, and then maybe like an A, then a B, and then a C is a running flat. With that, or maybe there's even A, B, C, D. No, that wouldn't be D. D, E is a triangle, maybe. Maybe it's here. D, E. We have that up there. But either way, I think this is wave 4 in here. And I believe this is wave 5. So that gives us a 1. So 50% pullback will be 943. We don't exactly have to hit that, though. We can maybe, what we might even get is like here, this is the monthly. We might have like candle spread. The candle body finds support on that S1 pivot right around that $13.50 area. And then maybe wick on down toward the $9.43 area on that monthly, like this candle here. And then head up. So yeah, that's what I'm looking for there on that. Oh, just trying to catch up with you guys here. Trying to anyway. CLSK. Clean Spark. Again, like Riot and Coinbase and all the others, it appears to be an ABC. We're at the daily S1 pivot. Daily RSI is about to reset and oversold. Stoke RSI bottomed out and oversold. You can see that we got this demand block right here prior to this large outside bar. I think that's a 1-2. It gives us almost a 61.8 pullback. So confirmation is a breakout above 1135. If we go from right here, that'll give us a 61.31 target. We're getting down to the 61.8. It gets closer to 66.5 for that wave 3. But that's a 1, 2, 3, 3 of 3. 3 of the circle 3. So it's the interior. It's a third wave of the third wave. So yeah, again, looking at all the other ones, the other Bitcoin adjacent stocks there, looks it, right? Thoughts on IWM? Let me see. How do I not have IWM on here? Oh, I must have it as something else. Oh, what's the what is the The minis. What are they for IWM? That's what I've got. Oops. Was it Rut? No. What is it? If you guys can help me out and remember that, what that is. I'm completely my brain guy. I can't even type. Look at this. E-money's RTY. There we go. Jeez, oh whiz. Sometimes the brain just doesn't work, guys. Got too many tickers in it. There we go. Come on. All right. So, I mean, it's doing exactly what we're looking for it to do. I had it as a 3 there. We got an ABC down. This chart's from what? Oh, it's not from 2.5. I've updated since then. But yeah, so we got a 3 up there. This is a 4. It's about a 50% pullback. I'm looking for a rally. R1 pivot area. Right up there around 22, 23, 22, 28 or so. Give us a 1. We'll look for a 2 on the pullback, 3 up. I think we're done or just about so with that pullback. We could come down a little bit further to the S1 pivot here. Take it just beyond. But right now we're right at the 50% pullback. The 3-day is almost reset and oversold the Stochh RSI. Daily, of course, has. A, B, C here. Looks like we're done. We got to break out above 2004 and 60 cents. If we can do that, we should be on our way up there toward 22.27 or so, 22.28. Yeah, right up there around that. 22.20, 22.30 area, depending on if we get this pullback further to the S1 or we just go from here. But yeah, IWM looks good. I think small caps are going to do good. Let me see here. DGHI. Okay. Let's zoom. That's a 2 hour. Let's zoom into the daily here. See what we got. We got a 78.6 pullback off this rally here. But this rally looks like an ABC. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So this might still be wave 2, printing some large expanded flat, I think. So I'm looking for here, ABC. So ABC down, ABC up, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 78.6 on this pullback here, but on this wave 1, it may just turn into a running flat here. It's only 38.2 there. So interestingly, this is what it's looking like to me at the moment. But we would need a breakout above wave B. So that's the swing high to confirm it. Let me zoom in a little bit though. Still just looks like 3. I was hoping maybe coming in, maybe it's like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but it still looks like 3. Yeah, I mean, my best look at this says this is potentially a running flat going on here. See the 4 hour we're oversold, 1 hour daily we're almost there. We could get down in these wicks here around $1.15, but Looks like a leading diagonal here, 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 5 there. So again, looking for it to potentially reverse off here. Bigger picture though, this is a 1, looks like a 1, and a 2 is a flat here. And that would give us minimum expected wave, yeah, 3 up target up there around $20 on the large count. 1, 2, 3 up there, $20, which is a huge move from where we're at now. It's almost 20 times, right? By the way, you can also see that we've got hidden bullish divergence printing on RSI on the daily here. So far, we do have lower lows on the oscillator. We got higher lows in price. So as long as price doesn't drop below this swing low here, we'll have hidden bullish divergence, which is continuation of the trend here. And this is an uptrend, right? Continuation of bullish trend. BLDR. DR. Yeah, I mean, we're breaking out here. I mean, I can tell you right now, minimally, about $182.20. Oh yeah, see, this is a 2, 3, flat as a 4. It's a 5 up there, about 182.20. I mean, just looking at this right here, looks like a 2, 3, 4, 5. So I would look right there around that 182.20. If we keep going up, I'd look around 200, 200 and a half. I would prefer to see that higher target hit because that gets you up there into the R1 pivot on the weekly. Can I zoom out more? 1, 2. Look at those monthly candles, guys. These last 2 monthly candles, bullish engulfing, moving up higher there. Again, yeah, that right there. Yeah, I think locally that's what I would be looking for. On the monthly, we're getting a cross here, a bullish cross, which is interesting. Should send us up. I think that R1 pivot's probably a good target. I mean, watch the initial one first, but then watch that as well. Look at this volume that came in right here. This huge bit of volume on this. And so here's the big thing. You have all this rally, right? You see this candle, this pullback candle? This short little pullback candle turns into a bullish hammer. After the sun, look at the volume on that. And what did they manage? A slight bit lower, and now we're breaking out higher. That was a lot of supply that came in there and got eaten up by demand. That's the kind of stuff you guys should be looking for. Okay? That's great. That's a great move there. Let's get in the daily here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5. Yeah, this might not even be that. That might only be 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, this will get us up there closer to that R1 pivot. 2, 3, 4, 5. Which gives us a 5 there locally, but that's a 1, 2. That's going to go up higher. $194 gets us that fifth wave up. But then that's only 3. So I think as we kind of zoom in here a bit, $38.2 pulls back about 162. And then that fifth wave will take that wave 3 a bit higher to 217, from 200 to 217. So without having a lot of time to look at this, just initially based off local count there, I think that's probably what we're looking for there. Oh, let me see you guys here. Oh, man. Just about running out of time here. What about Sol and R? We can look at Sol real quick. I know I'm missing a lot of you guys. I'm doing the best I can. Hope you guys understand that. Swing low, 85.16, $85. The swing low is still here. This might be a triangle. It may be A, B, C, D, and then E here. This is a nice candle going on right here. So it's possible that this is a triangle. Otherwise, we got a lot of overlap and all like that. I don't like the idea of this being a 1 and a 2 is a flat, and then a 1 is leading diagonal and a 2, and then a 1 and a flat as a 2, right? I think wave 4 is complete down here. If so, that gives us a minimum expected wave 5 of 5 of 5 of 3 target up there about 161. So, but we just need to kind of rally up. We need to get above 116.95, and then I think we have that 161 target as the next one. But I don't think that's done. Again, I think that's only wave 3 on there. Is the video that you are doing now be available and recording later? Yes, yes. All these videos that I do here on YouTube, you can just come back to youtube.com/Texas West Capital and look there in the video section. It'll be in there. Yeah. Let me see here. Oh, let me see here. What's going on, Suleiman? I see you there. Alvin says, doesn't matter what chart you do, same concepts can be applied to every chart. That's the idea. That's right. Like I said, there's always, in everything you guys do in life, whatever you want to be good at, there's going to be a process, a system that you use. And you should be able to apply that system to whatever it is that you're trying to do, right? So if you're charting and you're trading, stop jumping around from system to system to system, right? So like at TWC, we teach you not just here's how to do it, but we teach you why does price move like that? What is actually going on? So you understand, because that way you can actually move away. If all you're taught is a system, all you know is if A, then B, else C, right? Think about computer programming, right? When you actually understand why price action is moving and what's going on, and you start understanding that volume price action relationship, then you actually can go beyond just the systems you're being taught. So that's what we do, right? So we teach you, listen, here's why the market moves the way it does. Here's how you use Wyckoff to understand your ranges. And that gives you more in-depth understanding of what's actually happening with that price action volume, what's actually happening between buyers and sellers. And then we give you Elliott because price movement is nothing more than this repetitive action by human beings, because human beings act in a predictable manner, right? It doesn't mean it's exactly the same every time, but it's similar. And so when you start to understand, you're able to start forecasting. That's what my goal is. But we also teach day trading. We teach you price action, along the lines of ICT and some other stuff and stuff that I've put together along the way, supply and demand structure, stuff like that. So you get kind of like this really well-rounded approach. That's why we do it for a year. So you come in, you learn. It doesn't take you a year to learn it, but it gives you a year to continue asking questions, to continue getting comfortable with it, to find out where you're making your mistakes. So that's what we do. Members.texaswestcapital.com, guys. I'd love to have you there. We got great people like Andrew Bennett, Suleiman's in there. I got other people in here. I can't even see everybody that's all in here. But yeah. Let me see here. CHZ. And if you understand what's going on, then it allows you to get in at those lows. It allows you to understand where those lows likely are that I've been talking about the last year and a half plus. And then it gives you the confidence to actually be able to enter the trade and to enter it properly, right? Risk management, big thing that we teach. And we're very serious about it. I don't know anybody else out there that's as serious about risk management as we are. But that's because I want you guys to be in for an extended period of time. I don't want you to just be in and out of the market, lose your money. God, look how similar that is to Bitcoin, right? You got all this accumulation happening here. And yeah, definitely should have been buying in around here. Zoom out a little bit. You can see that we had a lot of volume coming up here in a big wick. So again, hit that pocket of sellers right here defending their position, and others who missed that section are looking to go short now. It's also the weekly pivot area. That weekly candle looks awful. If I'm looking here, okay, maybe get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe. Just hate that it's so short on that. All right, so let's back out of this. 2, 3, 4, 5. This looks like an ABC. I think this can be a 3 here. Now brace up above it. And some of these just aren't quick and easy to do. We've got limited time here. What do we got going on? This looks like an ABC here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think we kind of get down. I think right now we're still coming on down here a little bit further. About 8 cents to 8.2 cents, I think, coming down into this. Man, oh man. There's a lot of overlap on here I'm not a big fan of. 2. If that's a 1, 2. Wave 3 would be here. So this could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. And we get 5 up here. Okay. Yep. We can get this. So yeah, so I think it's going like a 1, 2, 3, 5 there. Just doing this real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. And then it looks like A, B, C. So, we may get a bounce up here into this like 0.092 area. But then we'll look for it to come on further because that would give us then this 1, 2, 3, 4, or it could even get up to 945. We just have 5 down there. Oh, yeah, that's a 1618 exactly, just about. So yeah, I think we got a wave 4, potentially a bounce up here to 0.092 to 0.0945. And then a drop down toward that that hourly pivot there. And then that would give us so that gets us, it gets us right there around the 70.5. I mean, it could stop anywhere along there. But what you want to look for is this wave 4 and then the pullback here. And once you create your wave 4 and you pull back and break back down below wave 3, then what you're going to look for is a breakout above that wave 4 to signal that wave 2 is probably done. That'll be your first clue. And then a breakout above wave B is going to add confidence to that count. And then, wave 3, see if we get down there to the pivot. So minimum up here around 16.7 cents for wave 3. Around that area, depending on exactly, if it stops a little bit prior, it comes in there. That's just from this local area, obviously. Yeah, that's what I would look for locally right there. See what happens with that. See if we can get that. Unfortunately, guys, we are 10 minutes over. It's 12:40 now, so I'm going to have to get out of here. Basically, BSV, BCH, if Bitcoin's going up, you should expect those to go up. If Bitcoin's going down, you should expect them to go down. But, generally speaking, guys, if as long as Bitcoin's in that bullish trend up, you should expect most alts to continue up. You're going to have your junk stuff out there that isn't going to, but for the most part, most alts should continue higher with it as well. I would suggest, again, what I said at the beginning. If you aren't consistently profitable on a larger time frame, don't try to jump in and do your day trading. I know you don't want to hear this, guys, but the truth is you're going to lose your money. And, some of you are going to hear that and you're going to ignore me anyway, and you're going to go and you're going to continue losing your money. It is what it is. But your larger time frames are not as big on your emotions. By the way, stay off of social media as much as possible. I know that's a tough thing for y'all to do today, but social media, a lot of that is very emotional takes, especially by the large accounts. And that's going to cause you to be more emotional because you're going to, whether you want to admit it or not, you see them and you go, oh, they got this huge following, 100,000, 200, 400,000 people. They must be worth following. They must know what they're talking about. And most of those big accounts, it's not because they're really any good at what they're doing. It's more because they're good at marketing. So just be careful out there with what you're following. But your emotions are what make trading really difficult, guys. And if you can't figure out how to get those emotions under control, you're going to end up losing money. And the shorter the time frame, the more difficult it is, especially if you're not practiced in it. If you don't have that experience in controlling those emotions, it's much more difficult to keep those emotions from forcing you to do things that you shouldn't be doing as a trader. Okay, guys? I hope that makes sense. Guys. Again, I'm not here to shill you anything other than what we do. It's just, I happen to believe it's the best thing out there, the best way to learn trading. Because we take all the other stuff that everybody tries to put in, all the emotions, all the news, all the nonsense, the stuff that's going to lose you money, we take all that out of it, and we have you focus on what's actually happening. So we'd love to have you there, but whether you do or you don't, come back next Friday. Fibo says he's going to be able to be with us next Friday. Like I said, he just unfortunately wasn't able to today. He had something come up last minute. So we did reschedule for next week, okay? I hope you guys are safe out there. Y'all trade well. Remember, the only thing you control is how much you lose. That's all you control, guys. Remember, we are, as Ned Davis says, we're in the business of making mistakes. So you need to change your thinking from how many dollars am I making, how much money am I making, to be more focused on your risk management and say, okay, what am I making in relation to the risk I'm taking on? But you got to make sure that that risk management is down. You guys, you can't do it without it, okay? Enjoy y'all showing up as always. Y'all take care, and I will see you next week. Bye, everybody.